the ever popular, I don't know if it's Johnson & Johnson, Energizer, Duracell, whatever it was, but that hearing aid that went underwater, in somebody's mouth, traveled the world, across the ocean, all this, the battery never ran out.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Whole Views, and today we're going to be doing the spoiler discussion for Quiet Place 2. We watched it a few weeks ago. We're just going to talk about the movie, specifically what we liked, what we didn't like, and stuff like that. So, getting into it, I think we both agreed that the movie was good.
Awesome movie.
Good movie. I think you initially had some issues with it, and I talked about them in my non-spoiler review, and I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I kind of got to give you that. So, what was the big negative for you?
Well,
Only, like, really, the main thing.
First and foremost, when you watch it, especially a horror movie, any movie, a horror movie, when you're watching a movie, you have to you go into the movie imagining you're the main character. And when I was watching A Quiet Place 2, I made myself the main character. I looked around and everything. It was a lot of things that were iffy. For example, when they figured out how the deaf girl used her sonic thing to whatever, like somewhere in the world, somebody's gonna say, "Hey, let me tell you how to do it, so we can know how to fight these things." Okay. Rather than me keep this big secret to myself, that was far-fetched. And the ever popular, I don't know if it's Johnson & Johnson, Energizer, Duracell, whatever it was, but that hearing aid that went underwater, in somebody's mouth, traveled the world, across the ocean, all this, the battery never ran out, it never got wet. It was just a perfect hearing aid that actually saved the day at the end of the movie. And if you watch the first Quiet Place, if I'm not mistaken, they had to keep swapping them out because, you know.
Well, the dad had a bunch of parts in the first one, and he was working on it all the time, so it's safe to assume they might have had a bigger battery or another battery somewhere else, or it's a fresh battery. I get you there. I give you that.
But I mean, you know, it's like the mama, she was a fighter. So if you see that your daughter has this, whatever, and you meet this guy who used to be friends with your husband, blah, blah, whatever, you know, he actually saw them kill one. So he could have said how you did that. She was like to show him. Simple. We're going to lure them here, make them shake, shoot them in the head, and kill as many as we can so we can move around.
So the reason why I'm cool with them not doing that is because in the first movie, the movie was all about the family. And then in this movie, you add in a few characters, but it's still essentially a story about the family.
Right.
So it's like, I know that they're working on a 3 already because they made enough money, right? So they're working on a 3. It would be smart to me to still keep it primarily about the family, but by the third movie, you kind of have to go that route and start telling people, hey, this is how you defeat them. But I was cool with them not doing that first because you don't want to take a story that people fell in love with the family and the story of the family, and then now we saving the whole world in the next one.
I got you.
You don't want to expand that fast. Plus, my thought about it was like, this movie was kind of their attempt to reach the rest of the world because it picked up right after the first one with them killing the first one. So it's like, you're going to slowly bring more and more people in and like, okay, let's find a bigger group and show them, hey, when you use this earpiece on the microphone, you can make them freak out and then blow their head off.
Because they have the element to where they can make a bigger, it's about, part one's about more like the family, the family leading to mainly the lady and the childbirth and all that. You know, then into part 2, but you have the element where they almost can make it almost like a Independence Day type thing, like
like,
you know,
like the
because
world.
You really can't lose nowadays with weapons and you know, there are all kind of things like that. So if you was to make it to where, you know, you have this thing where you lure them over and you have a sonic, you know, I've seen movies where they make a little weapon and you push it and it sonically, it's so much more they can do with it to keep it, you know, like an even quieter place or something, and just keep on going with it.
My thought was this: when you said that, I thought about it. maybe like shortly after we watched the movie. You remember Batman versus Superman?
Uh-huh.
How when Superman came up and he hit him with that Sonic stuff. Like I imagine that's something that they could do. But my thought was this though, while you was talking. We know from the second movie those things can't swim.
Right.
And we know that it's
you
like,
figured it out.
Oh, as soon as he hit the water, he started flailing. I was like, oh yeah, he can't swim. He's done. But my thought was this: we don't know what the state of the rest of the world is in, because it was like an asteroid that hit near like they spot.
Right. So it could be like an ice. Yeah.
So it could be just the U.S. Just like the west part of the world. You know what I'm saying? If they got to cross the river, they done. So they could be just a United States incident in Canada. Well, Canada is a regular border. Mexico might be straight because they got the Rio Grande, but no, you can go around that if you
right. But
at a certain point. But there's somewhere in the world where maybe everybody else is fine. And
you're in the
just
Bahamas,
the
you're looking at them like, oh well, we good.
Yeah, we good. You know, we got chickens, we got fish, we got everything we need out here. We don't need nobody. We don't have to sail nowhere. So because of stuff like that, that's another thing that makes me think maybe they won't expand it to the whole world, because then you got to figure it out for the rest of the world. How many asteroids hit where? You know, all that stuff. So I'm cool with it kind of being the family and sticking to a centralized story. But at some point, if they keep making them, you do have to expand.
Right. Like I said, and then the whole what I noticed in this one was the aliens, the creatures, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
They didn't. It wasn't like the traditional aliens where they jump on you and they're using their claws and they're cutting you. They just beating people up, just hitting you and throwing you like.
Yeah, they wasn't eating you.
Big wrestlers, yeah, just throwing you around.
They're just gonna beat you to death.
Which added to the. I mean, they were scary. Whoever did it and digitized and everything, the graphics were amazing. It looked real, but it would have been scarier if when you jump, you know, like you jump in a crowd of people and you're swinging people and you're seeing, you know how I am. I like that.
A little bit of gore.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll make you be like, cause like that, man, things just bounce from people to people. Hitting you and going to somebody else. I mean, it's scary, but somewhere, there's like she's not the only death girl in the entire world, like or city. Even if it's an isolated area, you know, to get to the radio station, the whole object was to get there. She was the genius person to think of it.
Put the signal out. And
hey, I'm going to go to the radio. You know, I'm going to save the world. Just gave her the whole savior element, which was nice. A kid that she got there and she did it, and it worked on that one. But I wish they would have showed it to where it's like, I don't know, it
kind of like an anthology, like the same story, just a different set of people,
right?
And show like how somebody else got through their situation. I actually thought that's what they was gonna do with this one until I found out they brought back Emily Blunt and the whole family, and it's picking up right then. I don't know what 3 is gonna be. The only information I got about it, I was reading an article. So the father in the movie, one who got killed in the first one, he was the director of this one, and he kind of like fleshed out the whole story. And he said for the second movie, there's no deleted scenes. Like if you buy a DVD of it, there's no extras because everything was just what it needed to be. But he said in creating the second one and not having any deleted scenes, like any ideas that he didn't want to keep, he just moved to the third one. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something similar to the family moving forward.
Right.
So I'm good with it. I'm here for it.
Another thing why it popped in my mind, the time frame was this like a couple of years?
Oh no.
Okay. So what made the little group of hermit?
It was at least 1 year.
Okay.
430 some days. So I remember that from the first.
Okay, so in a year's time, so much has happened. So you have this nomad clan of crazy people by the bay.
Oh yeah.
That fly together and then
I can take that because I don't think it takes long for people to lose it.
Gotcha.
Like you start doing this, put people in this situation, and you surviving. Yeah, I don't think it would take long after you see a few of them things, beat up people you love and kill people you love, and you got to be quiet about it, can't talk about it, can't scream, can't yell. Like I think people would unravel pretty quick. But I remember because the time it does kind of mess with you. The first one, they lost that little boy on the bridge. You remember?
Right.
And then
she was going back, and
then she got pregnant, and then she was at the end of her pregnancy. So at least 10 months there in the first one. So you forget that stuff.
There you go. True.
Jumping into this one, but yeah. So from initial little rock landing had to be at least close to a year. And then this one, to me, this movie picking up with them leaving the house, that's feel like maybe like 3 days. It don't seem like that long.
Right.
But we had talked about time being an issue when we talked about the boat floating. You remember that? How long it took the boat to float with no motor running?
Because the boat was floating while the son and the baby were locked in the boat.
That kind of was disoriented. I'll tell you what, as far as character decisions went, the son pissed me off, and it pissed you off too. When we was in the movie, like, why are you leaving?
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go look out of a window
and explore
and look for my mom, and then
when I could just wait for
her. And them gonna run back and pull. They should have locked. You know, I'm all for dumb decision. They should have got back. Should have got back and opened it up and but I guess you can't do that to kids. But
you can do that to kids. I've seen some stuff.
I've seen some movies that make you, but.
I wanted him to eat it though after that. Like, what you doing looking around?
Putting myself into the movie though, it's a lot of things I would have done and not have done. We actually were not arguing, but on the way out of the movie theater. I don't know if it's like if I have this, if this is my home and I figured out how to keep my home alien proof, and you come in, and I say, okay, I'll let you in. I'm not going to look for your child out. No, that makes no sense. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
that's the women that want you to go in.
Dude,
because you heard my answer, like, situation I ain't going either. Like,
I love, and then
all them guns I got, like,
educated. I love children, but you got to explain to me, okay, so if we go out there and we get your child, and on the way back I get mangled. How about I don't die? I just lose a leg, a limb, and I'm just come back and get talking. I'm here, and we come in, and now we're back in my place, and you're gonna tell me, thank you.
That's it.
I look at my no leg, mouth hang. Nah.
Yeah, I feel you. I wouldn't have been volunteering to do that either. Like, I think I'm good. I'm not going. All them, them guns. Like,
especially if you have this magical transformer sound wave box that transform, and you put some crap and you make their head shake, and while you're shaking, I can use my weapon and blow your head. I mean, then it makes it okay. Let's go look for your son. Let's go look. Matter of fact, let's go look for some more of these little things. A bigger one, like maybe we can use this and use like a.
Well, maybe we get that in the third. Hopefully, some more aggression. Going after the little aliens.
I'm all for just gore it up some, like kill off a lot of these, and then like they send a single and they send some more down that's even. Deadlier.
Well, we don't know how advanced they are, but yeah, that would be interesting. Like they start killing them, and either adapt to where the sound don't work no more, and you got to figure something else out, or they got a little signal that they can send and get them back up.
Because here it is, she's 10 in the movie, the little girl?
12, 13, maybe.
Okay, well, here it is.
She looked like a 7th grader.
Let's give her 14. You have a 14-year-old that magically figures out how to defeat the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay, somewhere in the world, there's some, even if it's an isolated incident, there's some military mind saying, I know what might work, and like I would like to see that. The weapons, they walking around and they're actually trying to save people from the town, and
but I think that's good, right? We good. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. We'll be talking about more stuff throughout the summer, especially what we just watched, Fear Street.
Oh yeah, we're back for that.
Hype about that. So come back and check out more videos.